It's well worth it to go out there and show your kids some history of the Southwest. Here we have the Nogales High School Band, known as the pride of Nogales, and rightly so. This band is under the direction of Ken Tittlebaugh. We have drum majors Margaret Everett, Ivan Solis, and Alfred Kerr. They have the Spanish-style maroon and gold uniforms. Those look great. Nogales High School has been around since 1921, and this parade has been around since 25?
25.
A very, very long time.
That's got to be one of the larger bands we've seen today.
Yeah, they sound great.
This did sound very good.
Do a lot of rehearsing for something like this. We mentioned earlier that, there's not many chances for parades, so they probably get 2-3 a year, and so this is quite a performance for them. They have to walk 3 or 4 miles as they play, so they try to change the songs as they turn the streets there. We have the Royal Finance and Investment Company here.
Group is representing Royal Finance and Investment, a local company based in Tucson. Wide variety of age group there on in this set of horses.
I think this might be a holdup that we've got down the street here. These are the Rodeo Bandits. They are Ashton Barnett and Maureen Burns behind those bandanas there. They are riding on a pair of bay Western quarter horses. And look they're wearing those matching 19th century bandit outfits. They convinced me.
Should we alert the authorities that these guys are here?
Got to get the posse. They were back there. Get them onto these guys. Boy, they do look threatening.
Looks like they've got some loot there in the front, too.
They've made their haul, and now they're heading out, but they're not going very fast. I think we're safe. Even their horses have bandit masks there.
Talked with Don Collier earlier, and you know him as the spokesman for Intergroup. Here is the Intergroup float. And basically, we're talking about a children's fiesta, and there are a lot of kids out there, and they look like they're having a good time. Intergroup of Arizona. Yes, you're on television, and you're live, and you're on KGUN 9.
You have to say, hi, Mom. Here we have the Walk Powwow Royalty from 1966 and 1996 and 97. Boy, we've been talking about the 1800s today, and now I just have to get with the times here. We have Denise Begay. She's 18 years old. She's the member of the Tohono O'odham Nation. She is the princess. Her first attendant is Rosanna Pablo. She's 16 years old, and her second attendant is Sarah Pablo Liston. These young ladies represent the Walk Powwow Committee and the 8 Feast Committee that provide the religious feast days in the community.
Right after that, Roscoe Christopher, the mud wagon built in 1983 by Roscoe Christopher. And it's an exact replica of the mud wagons that ran between Reno and the Pyramid Mines, carrying freight and passengers in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Roscoe is 91, and he is driving his Belgian mares, Pet and Polly. It's the 14th year in a row Roscoe and his wife, Rose, and family have been in this parade.
Here's ITT Tech, the Technical Institute. They always enter historical float. And this is an old mission school. They did a nice job on that float. The float was designed and built by students at ITT Tech.
Robert Gobea, riding in authentic Mexican attire, is Robert Gobea, a third-generation rider. He is the son of Gilbert and Mary Gobea and is the grandson of G.H. Gobea. I think we had another grandson on earlier because we've got the same fact here about this gentleman whose grandfather carried the Mexican flag in the Tucson Rodeo Parade from 1925 to 1970. And now here is one of his grandchildren doing the same thing.
Here's the Coronado National Forest. Smokey the Bear is walking behind this float here. And of course, Smokey's message to everyone is only you can help prevent wildfires. Very important here in the Southwest where it's so dry.
And Smokey is here.
He's right in the back. He's probably too busy saying hello to all the kids.
Yeah, he's out greeting some of the kids.
Yeah,
and Smokey is running.
Yeah,
Smokey is running. There
he's
he
very
comes.
popular. There he is. Look at him.
Come on, Smokey.
He's got to get in shape. Look at him.
Huffing and puffing.
Kids really go wild when they see Smokey. They just love him. Such a familiar face for young children.
One of the great symbols that we all know that only you can prevent forest fires. And Smokey is with Smokey is Coronado National Forest Supervisor John McGee. And what a great place to head, especially in the summertime, right? Where it can be a little bit cooler up there.
Here we have the Rex Allen Cowboy Museum. The museum is in Wilcox and just opened in October. And the buggy today is occupied by the ladies that have worked to make the museum what it is today. The Rex Allen Theater and Windmill Park are part of this whole unit. The theater operates Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Wilcox is not too far away, about an hour's drive. Well worth the drive, hour and a half. Well worth the drive to see the new museum.
And Rex is a former Grand Marshal of this parade. Lazy K Bar Guest Ranch. And boy, have these places become popular. Riding group represents our typical dude ranch. Many of these folks come from all over the world, especially to participate in the parade. Lazy K Bar Ranch is located in the Tucson Mountains and has been part of the Tucson history since 1936. The ranch is well known for its fine riding program, great food, and friendly hospitality. And people from all over the world will come to Arizona to live that lifestyle, maybe for a weekend or for a week or so. Because, you know, we all are like that out here, right?
Yeah.
But,
we have the
it's
American
terrific.
Fence Company, very popular company here in Tucson. A lot of fences are made by this company. They have one of those old wagons, big group sitting in the back there. It's really starting to warm up here out on the parade route. We're about at 10:35 now, and you'll see a lot of people peeling off the jackets. They've got their sunglasses on, taking their sweatshirts off. Some of them are in short sleeves, enjoying the sunshine. It's going to be a gorgeous day in Tucson. I think we're starting it off just right today.
Yep. A lot of things to do outside this weekend, that's for sure. You got your choices between rodeo and golf tournaments and baseball and all kinds of things, and it looks like the weather's going to cooperate. And I can't remember the last time it didn't. It just seems like no matter what, you hit Thursday of rodeo week and the weather turns nice, and that's what Tucson, Arizona is all about this time of year.
Coming up next, we have Los Descendientes del Presidio de Tucson. And now Tucson was founded back in August 20th of 1775. And these are some of the family members of some of our ancestors. They've tried to keep this organization alive for a very, very long time. The president is Teresa Montano and Livia Montiel. And Bobby Benton and Arnold Smith are wearing authentic soldier uniforms from the period.
Let's kick it down to Terry and see what's happening. Terry?
Well, Dave and Colleen, I am down here with Sergeant O'Crotty with the Tucson Police Department Bike Unit. And you guys have been getting some good exercise today, riding up and down the streets. I know you've been trying to keep our photographers out of the streets, but what other type of work have you all been doing here today at the parade?
Well, besides keeping the photographers out of the street, we're trying to keep the kids out of the street. That's our main function, is to try to keep the people back and prevent anybody from darting out in front of a horse, or enough room in case if a horse shies or something malfunctions with a wagon, that there's a room to keep people safe, basically.
Now, have we had any sort of problems today, or are things going pretty smoothly?
Things are really going great today. It's a beautiful day. Nobody's had any significant, lost children or injured people or anything. It's been real nice.
Good. Well, that sounds great. Sergeant O'Crotty, thank you very much. We'll let you get back to patrolling the parade route here. Thank you very much, and keeping our photographers in line. David, Colleen, I'm going to stay out of the street. Back up to you.
We have a lot of police officers out here, security officers, paramedics, the fire department. They're all here in case something happens. But as the officer said, we haven't had any real emergencies out here today, thank God.
Yeah, it's been great so far in perfect conditions. And again, when you get 200,000 people all in one place, things are bound to happen. But hopefully everyone is safe for the rest of the day. The Desert View Jaguar Marching Band making its way towards us. Carl McCurry is the band director. Mario Figueroa and Antonio Arayin are the drum majors. The tune, How the West Was Won. School's been located on the Tucson southeast side for 11 years. Jaguars from Desert View. You are watching live coverage of the Tucson Rodeo Parade here on KGUN 9.
You're watching the Tucson Rodeo Parade. Brought to you by Dairy Queen and the Regional
There we go. That's the true West right there. A lot of movies have been made out there, and Old Tucson has a new look now. Worth going out there to check it out. Behind Old Tucson, we also have
92.9 Cool FM in Ingalls Forest. There's some big bee on the back of that thing.
Yeah, I looked
also
at the bee and that threw me off.
Cool coyotes there too. From Buzzy the Bee. Buzzy the Bee's out there. Listen to 92.9 to see how you can win a Kanoa house of the future from your home of the oldies. Fox 11, UPN 18. Also part of today's festivities here. Carry the Wildcat basketball game tonight as they play in Oregon. American Airlines, and they've been in the news of late.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're glad to be out here and not at work today. The Southwest Reservations Office of American Airlines presents representatives of its worldwide reservations system. And they did a nice job with that float.
Yeah.
We know, I could tell who that was from a long ways away.
We have a lot of companies that are represented here today, families, some non-profit groups. Everybody wants to be in the rodeo parade.
Great exposure.
Yeah, you get a chance for people to see your sign and that kind of thing. And they're pretty strict here, the parade committee, about advertising and that kind of thing. You know, you can put your name up, but other than that, they try to keep it the advertising out of the parade. Here we have the Teen Challenge, and the men holding the sign there and the people behind them. These are people who are former drug or alcohol, or drug addicts or alcoholics. And they've cleaned up their act and are now part of the Teen Challenge program. They have brand new lives and they're drug and alcohol free, and they've come out here today to be in the parade.
I've got some good signs there about staying away from drugs and staying away from alcohol, guns.
The Teen Challenge is a very big group here in Tucson, very successful, the work that they do with young people. It's a good message to be sending out to the crowd today. They're a spirited group.
Followed up by the Colossal Cave Mountain Park. And it's a reproduction of an 1800s buckboard provided by the Colossal Cave Mountain Park Stables, located at La Posta Quemada Ranch, a part of Colossal Cave Mountain Park just south of the cave. Another very popular spot for our winter visitors. Citizens of Margaritaville.
Now that sounds pretty interesting.
Somewhere there's a Jimmy Buffett song in there, but a small community of cowhands and dance hall girls located in the foothills of the Santa Rita Mountains. On parade day, everyone comes to the big town to celebrate La Fiesta de los Vaqueros. It's interesting how they bunch up sometimes, and then there's a big lull in between, but some horses want to go a little faster than others.
Yeah, the organizers at the beginning of the parade try to space them all out, and lots of times you have a horse that doesn't cooperate, or a buggy that doesn't go, or somebody who doesn't jump on time, and so you have kind of a break in the parade. And then other times they're kind of all bunched up, but trying to get through all the entries here. We have about 400 entries.
Something like that, yeah.
And yeah, it usually takes about maybe almost 2.5 hours to go through the parade. The parade started at 9 o'clock this morning. Big crowd out here. People are really enthusiastic. We have some vendors that are selling balloons and the typical popcorn and that kind of thing. Having a good time. Looks like a circus or a typical parade. We have parade weather today, and it's just been a beautiful morning so far.
Back in the old days, when this thing started, they started the parade at 10:30, so a little bit later, and it would go right up to the rodeo itself, which would start at about 1:45. And now there's a little bit of a break in between, so everybody can clear out and they can bring in the crowd for the rodeo.
I can imagine the traffic jam as people are trying to leave the parade and go to the rodeo and that kind of thing. And now it's probably a lot better.
Yeah, they had about 7,500 fans at the rodeo yesterday, which is typically maybe your smallest crowd of the week, and then it will build and build, and then by the weekend there will be somewhere around 12 or 13,000 people.
Wow.
To watch. So
people come from all over the country to see the parade and the rodeo.
And the rodeo participants do as well. There's also a major rodeo going on this weekend in Houston, and some of the athletes will go from here back to Houston and then back to Tucson in the weekend just so they can win money and participate in both rodeos at the same time. But a big rodeo going on down there. I know that it's sometimes conflicted with the rodeo here in Tucson as far as getting some of the bigger names, but most of them will be here and then make the trip over to Texas as well.
That's great. They live a hard life traveling. They just pack up their bags and head on out in the trailer or whatever they got. A lot of them, you know, have the motor homes that they travel in and get out there. The cowboys have a rough life, but they really enjoy it. And if you talk to any of them, they say they would never trade that lifestyle for anything. Here we go. We have a band coming up here. This is the Palo Verde Titan Band. Palo Verde on 22nd and Kolb there. The Gold and Blue.
Band director is Vanessa Eastman. Drum majors are Natalie Burdick and Josh Hammond. And they are playing How the West Was Won, which is one of the more popular songs of the day, and Gold and Blue. Palo Verde Engineering and Technology Magnet High School in TUSD. And they've been around since 1962. Every high school in Tucson is represented by their marching bands here this morning, followed up by the Tucson Saddle Club, 120 active members who participate in semi-monthly trail rides, with the grand finale being a 70-mile, 3-day Tucson to Tombstone ride that's held in October. Tucson Saddle Club formed to preserve riding and hiking trails and to promote better horsemanship, to support legislation that will benefit horse people in general, and to sponsor such activities that will enhance the use of horses.
We have the Richland Riders, too. Now, these riders are called the Richland Ranchettes. They're from Cochise and Wilcox. A lot of people have come from around the states.
The Wrightstown Wranglers are right behind, another 4-H group. They have a membership of 35 young women between the ages of 9 and 19, and they strive to expose to horse and rider many diversified activities involving the horse. And the group leading this year is the Wrightstown Wranglers Square Dance Team. They perform square dances on horseback, as well as flag presentations.
There are people of all ages in that group. You saw Smokey the Bear a couple of minutes ago, and now we have another familiar face for children and adults alike. Here he is. You can probably see that bright red hair there. The makeup is obvious. It's Ronald McDonald. He's out here every year, and fans really like him. There's Weiserlock, too, right behind Ronald McDonald.
Maker of the Power Bolt, an innovative electronic keyless entry system. Weiserlock has been an industry leader in quality residential door hardware since 1904. So they were probably... they were doing business before the rodeo parade was doing business. Again, Dave Silver and Colleen Bagnall as we continue our coverage, live coverage of the Tucson Rodeo Parade, exclusively seen here on KGUN 9. And we were talking a little bit about the rodeo and it continuing. And I know that one guy who's not going to be here, most people enjoy seeing him, is Ty Murray. Ty has been one of the best all-around cowboys through the last 5 or 6 years, but he was injured, which is very rare in the sport of rodeo. It seems like these guys never get hurt.
Yeah.
But he actually broke his collarbone. So Ty was one guy who will not be here this weekend, but he is one of the best all-around athletes. Of course, the other big names will be here. I know that Sherry Potter Servey, who is one of the top barrel racers from Marana, one of the best in the country, will be participating, I think, on Saturday. So the rodeo will have all the big names except for Ty coming up this weekend.
Plenty of entertainment. We have Ballet Folklorico here. They're from San Juan, and this group is 10 years old, and they have 100 dancers from the ages of 5 up to 18. These girls perform all over the country in Las Vegas, Denver, Texas, California, and they've even been to Mexico. Some gorgeous dresses. And these young girls are dancing throughout the parade route, which I'm sure is very tough to do.
But as soon as they see the cameras,
they perform.
They do a great
Gorgeous
job.
costumes.
They're going to be in Disneyland in July, too, which should be fun for them. Ronald Perry, the family group, riding today. Ronald Perry from Arivaca. With him are friends Dick Whitman, Lowell Robinson, Tom Lewis, and son-in-law Craig Nicholson. Ronald used to drive stagecoaches for the rodeo back in the late 1940s.
Here we have the Rex Allen Days queen. Her name is Cheryl Morrow, and she is a 17-year-old student from Wilcox High School, and she'd like to invite all of you to come out and have some more Western fun in October. October 3rd, 4th, and 5th is the Rex Allen Days in Wilcox.
And continuing on, U.S. West Communications is coming up the road. U.S. West employees and their families, all part of today's festivities at the 72nd Tucson Rodeo Parade. U.S. West has also got the Dex Yellow Pages group.
Which just came out this year.
Right. Stagecoach sponsored by U.S. West Dex. Carrying Victoria Steele and Don Wallace of 790 KNST Radio. Would that be Victoria in the purple up top?
I would say so, yes.
Look at her.
Some real authentic costumes there.
Never one to shy away from the camera. Stagecoach and team are owned and operated by Frontier Adventures of Las Cruces, New Mexico. We are in the 4th division, actually the 4th and final division of the Tucson Rodeo Parade. They divide the parade into 4 parts. And I believe this is still part of the U.S. West Dex.
Yeah, they have a couple of entries here. Look at those gorgeous horses.
Big wagon.
Some of these people have been up since early this morning decorating these floats, because one thing we've always learned is that you can't decorate a float and drive it here because nothing will be left of it. Everything blows away, so they come down early and decorate the floats. A lot of time is put into this. We're going to take a break right now and continue with live coverage of the 1997 Fiesta de los Vaqueros. Rodeo Parade. We're at Ajo and Park, set up here, broadcasting the parade live, and we've probably about maybe 30 more entries or so. It's been a very big parade this year. A lot of participants, and Dave was saying back when it first began, well, there was about 300 people who participated. And
in the entire parade.
Yeah, in the entire parade. And boy, some of these entries, when you have 25, 30 people participating, the bands, we've seen bands of 100 and 110 students. So I think we've beat them. We've done very well in all these years.
Catalina High School's marching band is making its way down. And they are the Magnet School Marching Pride. And they have performed in the U of A Band Days and also the NAU Band Day, along with numerous local performances. The Arizona Marching Band has been in this parade every year. And then as the high schools have come along, they seem to have joined it. Earlier, I remember the first years I was doing the parade coverage, a lot of the junior high bands were involved, but they started to limit it. Got to be to the point where there was almost a band every couple entrants, and so they pretty much narrowed it down to the high schools and to the U of A and to some of the others that'll be coming.
We have the Carondelet Healthcare Riders. This is a horseback riders represent Carondelet Healthcare, which owns St. Joseph's Hospital and St. Mary's Hospital here in Tucson. They're all dressed in Western outfits there, carrying the Carondelet Healthcare flag.
Back when this parade started, they would give out different awards for different things in the parade, and one of them, I was looking through some of the books about the history of this parade, the fattest horse, the skinniest horse, the biggest hat.
Well, I don't know about the fattest, but I know the heaviest horses
Nowadays,
have to be the Clydesdales.
Yeah, the heaviest would be right there. The oldest man on horseback.
We heard there was somebody who was 87 one year in this parade. Now this is the 4-H FFA groups. This is a group that promotes agriculture among young people. Teaches them leadership, personal growth, and career development. Kids work on a day-to-day basis with their animals. They take them out to the fair. They prepare about 80 animals, the beef, sheep, and swine, to be put on display at the Pima County Fair. 4-H, very popular. This is the Amphi 4-H.
Yeah, they do most of their work right there by the Rito racetrack at First and Wetmore. There's a big land lab livestock laboratory right there, and they do most of their work right there. Triple C Chuck Wagon wranglers from out at the Triple C Chuck Wagon are singing their way through the parade route today. That would be the Super K mission that just passed by. Float made by the employees of the Midvale Super K Mart, the replica of the San Javier mission. Nice job with that one.
The Tucson Charro Association is up next. It's a horse-drawn wagon decorated with Mexican flowers. Charros on horseback doing rope tricks. They have their dancing horses, which I think are very, very interesting. The women are riding side saddle, wearing traditional Adelita-style dresses. That's what those are called.
Right.
Beautiful dresses. And they have a wagon coming up here with mariachi music and a lot of people on board there. That's one of the bigger floats we've seen today.
One of the good things, too, about having the kids be off this time of year is that they do get to learn a lot about the area that they live in. And some people may not have ever heard of charros, and here they are getting an exposure to them, first chance to see them and what they do and what they're all about.
The rodeo actually has a class. It started last Monday for kids to learn about the history of rodeo, and they learn about bareback riding and bronco riding and just a little class that they go to. It's kind of a tradition the last couple of years here in Tucson where they teach kids, a little bit about their history. They do it in a fun surrounding, too.
Well, they do them at the rodeo itself.
Yeah.
They'll take them down there on, I know on Mondays and Tuesdays, a lot of the schools took field trips. And there are actually some competition going on, some of the slack competition they call it, that happens on Monday and Tuesday at the rodeo grounds. The kids can watch that, but then spend part of the day almost in a classroom setting where they learn about the history of the rodeo, what the rodeo is, how to watch the rodeo, and what this parade and rodeo have meant to Tucson.
Here's a stagecoach that you might have seen on TV, the Wells Fargo Bank Stagecoach.
Driven by Darrell Hatch from Mesa. Wells Fargo grew up with the Arizona Territory before the Civil War. Stagecoaches of the Overland Mail Company passed through Tucson, where bilingual William Sanders Urey represented the stage company and Wells Fargo. Today, a century later, the Wells Fargo Stagecoach rolls through Tucson in the 72nd Rodeo Parade. FHP Healthcare, Tucson since 1989. FHP provides health services to more than 40,000 Tucson residents and is proud to be a member of the greater Tucson community.
In fact, they won the 1995 Most Creative Entry 2 years ago. FHP Healthcare.
Well, now the parade has gone to the dogs, I guess you could say. Tucson Greyhound Park. And they're not too far from here, located in this part of town. On track in Tucson for over 50 years. For centuries in England, greyhounds belonged to only the aristocrats, and early British law forbade commoners to own them. And that's why they call that sport the Queens of Racing. Tucson Greyhound Park.
I've been noticing that some of these horses are starting to probably get tired here. They're not as happy about this as they were in the beginning. Some of them probably been waiting in line for some time. We have a delay in the back here. They're trying to round up some horses and get them going in the right direction. Tucson Greyhound Park. We got U.S. West banners there too.
Mm-hmm.
I think in general they do a fabulous job of keeping all these wagons and floats going. There's a lot of people involved here, and sometimes a hitch breaks or something like that, but it's just amazing how quickly they get everybody up and going again. Out for a nice quiet ride there.
Yeah.
Looks pretty calm.
Nice little stroll down Park
Doesn't
Avenue.
even look like anything's bothering her, just strolling along. A great day to be riding a horse.
Again, you're watching live coverage of the Tucson Rodeo Parade that has pretty much come to a standstill. Unfortunately, this group is passing by our way, but back up the road, something seems to be up.
Yeah, but it looks like we have one of the
horses just does not want to participate.
Horses, and looks like a wagon that they got some problems with, and we have the Marana High School Tiger Marching Band behind them.
Right behind them. They're really getting some good practice in, I think.
Yeah, so they're going to be really great by the time they come here. But there's, you can see there that they, and you look at all the security that's around there. There's a lot of people helping out. You know, this is what they watch out for to make sure that the horses don't charge toward the audience or anything, and you realize the audience is so close. But this particular problem looks like they're trying to fix it, and we should be underway here in just a few minutes, momentarily, hope.
You having a good time here doing your first
this is my first rodeo parade that I've actually been announcing here. And Dave, how many years have you done it?
I can't remember. I don't know.
It's been so long.
5 or 6, something like that. But,
but before that, you came to the rodeo parade with your boys.
Yeah.
You've lived here about, what, 12 years?
12, 13 years, and the boys have been here watching the parade. I hope that they're watching at home, or maybe they're even out here right now. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's been fun. I've had family members watch this parade, and a lot of people are really impressed that Tucson that pulls this off every year. When you tell them, oh, we take this big long 4-day weekend. Well, why do you do that? Oh, because there's a big parade and there's a big rodeo. And they go, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Tucson has been known for, and
Puts
for
us
all
on
these
the
years,
map.
it does put us on the map. And you know, the rodeo, we've talked about that and how it attracts some of the best rodeo competitors every year. The parade brings people to town. People will come here just to see the rodeo and the rodeo parade.
I was reading the newspaper this morning that 40% of the people who come for the rodeo parade and the rodeo are from out of state. So we really bring them all in. That's great for our economy. Pump something like $15 million into the economy, and we all could use that.
Yes,
so
we could.
Keep our community going. It looks, speaking of going, it looks like the parade is going. They've got everything fixed here. And that's how quickly they work. They've got everything all hitched up, and the horses are walking again, and looks like they've kind of got a Band-Aid on the situation, but they're moving.
Yep.
And this is part of the Tucson Greyhound Park entry.
Let's see.
Oh, U.S. West.
Is it U.S. West? They've
Yes,
got another
U.S. West.
U.S. West also represented here. They were part of. They've been part of the parade in a couple different areas. So U.S. West Communications
And
making their way.
followed by U.S. West, the Marana High School Tiger Marching Band. They were down there practicing during the delay. They're going to sound great. We have Dave Alexander. He's the director. The drum majors are Brian Ludwig and Shannon Bourget. And they're going to play Bear Down during this parade, which we've heard from the U of A band at a couple of schools. Marana is located in Avra Valley. The school's been there since 1975.
Hats off to Dave Alexander, by the way, who's the director. We mentioned his name a minute ago, but he is walking the parade backwards, it looks like, for 3 miles, which as a band director in these cases is a tough task. But they do a great job of getting these bands in order, and they don't get too much practice in a parade this long.
We have the Sierra Vista Riding Club that's been around since 1960. This is a family-oriented equestrian club. They have activities, horse activities that include roping, team penning, organized trail riding, and horse shows. They keep busy year-round.
It's terrific how these clubs have formed, and people with this interest in riding get together in just about every part of southern Arizona. You can do it. You can find these clubs, and you can go out and have great weekend rides or early morning rides in the summertime. Sure, great. Such beautiful scenery to get out and see.
Here's the Walk Indian Day royalty. Now that's a very colorful float. They have blankets on the side with some baskets actually attached to those blankets.
These girls represent the San Javier district of the Tohono O'odham Nation. Organization works with youth in the community to help in the areas of cultural teachings, sports, education, and community involvement. The Walk Indian Day Princess is Jenna Lee Pablo, the first attendant Yolanda Campos, second attendant Rhonda Enriquez. Very nice floats. Pima College, go ahead.
Go ahead. The Pima Community College Alumni Association. We have on board Chancellor Bob Jensen and his wife Jan and some of the alumni from Pima Community College. Got a fireman in the back there. Looks like a chef on the other side, so these are graduates of Pima. Woman has a hard hat, so must be some type of a construction worker.
Also on hand was the Chancellor of Pima, Bob Jensen, and his wife Jan. John Mann and friends, Modern Cowboys, do team penning, roundups on the Navarro Ranch. One of my favorites, the Beavers Tucson Concert Band, remembering some of our past when concert bands were part of every city concerts in the park. Church is a very important part of the town's entertainment. They're located, on Broadway? They have a big office there on Broadway.
This is good realty coming up here in the buggy. Riding the buggy today are the owners and partners Alex Ross and Nancy Good. And here we have Territorial Days, the DARE unit from the Pima County Sheriff's Department.
One of the
DARE
great
stands
programs.
for, yes, Drug Abuse Resistance Education Program. They go around schools and teach kids how to say no to drugs and alcohol and to gangs and violence. About 34,000 kids have been impacted by this program, a very successful program.
And a lot of those kids are locked up right now inside those DARE territorial prisons. One more marching band to tell you about, the Foothills Falcons Band. Renee Shane Boyd is the band director, and they are from Catalina Foothills High School. They received superior ratings at the Flowing Wells Marching Invitational, excellent ratings at the U of A Band Day and the State Marching Festival, and they're the second largest band in the state. This is their 4th year in the Rodeo Parade. They've traveled all over. They've been to California, they've been to Hawaii, they've been to New Mexico. Foothills Falcon Band. Sunset Riders, second year in the Tucson Rodeo Parade. They are all riding American quarter horses, and they're going to do some roping for us, we hope. Hi there.
We're back. We're out at the Rodeo Parade.
Just about wrapping things up.
Yes, we only have maybe about 15 more entries. It's been a big day out here. You just heard from the Catalina Foothills Band. We saw the Sunset Riders. We have a couple of other riding groups coming up, a couple more floats. And the Catalina Foothills was the last band, right, Dave?
I think so.
It was the last
I think
band.
so. Yep. That would be the descendants of the Noon pioneer family. Bev Naples and her sister Gail Adams are fifth-generation Tucsonans. Their great-great-grandmother Lily Noon was born on the Oro Blanco Ranch, which is still in existence in southwestern Arizona. And it's when the Apaches were still raiding to try to keep their homeland. Followed up next by a couple horses and...
It looks like Caldwell Banker is the sign on the side of this.
That's right.
And Caldwell Banker's success is represented today by some of the children of Tucson's Shalom House. Some of those kids who are riding on the float there. Looks like the house has been sold.
That's right, which is probably what Caldwell Banker would like to see.
There's the sidelines here. It just goes to show you how many people are out here. Everybody's got snacks and blankets. There's somebody sleeping in the back there. Probably got here very early. It's a great day for a parade.
The Dance Hall Gals, sponsored by the
Dave,
Maverick...
don't be looking now.
No, I'm not. I'm just reading here. Sponsored by the Maverick King of Clubs, 22nd and Swan. Eileen and Diane are inviting you to come out and dance by the light of the moon at the Maverick. Eileen and Diane will teach you some fancy footwork on Tuesday or Thursday nights. So I'm going to have to go put my boots on and find out.
Those women were smart not to be dancing down the streets. They were riding horses. That's a good idea. It's a long route here.
From the Maverick King of Clubs. And we continue on with Zeeler Insurance, riding are Tony and Barbara, along with their grandchildren, Tamara and Benjamin Brown. This insurance company, they've been serving Tucson since 1958.
And after the Zeeler family, we have Health Partners Health Plans, which is in Tucson, has been in Tucson for over 10 years. It's a locally owned HMO. Their wagon reflects the color and diversity of the old Pueblo and the pride in our Southwest traditions. Here we have, this looks like somebody's getting married, but I hate to tell the bride, but the man that she married there, you know.
That's an interesting
Oh, let's see,
outfit.
is she married to the guy across the way or next to her?
Tucson Association for Child Care Incorporated provided a range of family support services that encourage maximum growth and development of children. More than 20,000 children are served each day through programs like KidLine, the Center for Adolescent Parents, Child Care Resource.
And up next we have Cloud Dancer Jewelry of Tubac. And the sponsors of this replica 25-passenger horse-drawn trolley is the Cloud Dancer Jewelry of Tubac. Now this unit won Best Team its first year in the Rodeo Parade back in 1995. The trolley has hauled hundreds of people over the years, and hundreds of people actually earlier this month at the Tubac Festival of the Arts. Very big for Tubac there.
Side Saddle Cuties and Escorts. Group is riding Peruvian Paso horses.